Hey guys, Coldbrew here. Welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. We just had the Raid Digest being released, and we have some changes coming to the Hydra, right? So first things first, I read through them multiple times. They're not the changes that we all expected. Like, I thought they would introduce like an easy difficulty for the Hydra. At the moment, let's say as an example, I'm again on my free-to-play account, as I've been the past few days. I don't play much on my main account anymore. I only do the basics like clan boss and Hydra. But the Hydra at the moment, let's see. I've got a full clan on the free-to-play, and we have 3 members actually hitting it, with the highest member doing 3.6 million damage. As long as the changes coming mean that all 30 members that are above the level required to enter the Hydra is done, then it means the changes are not enough. That's my base understanding of how the Hydra should be. If you unlock it, you should be able to at least attempt it, okay? It's not like you should be able to clear the whole thing and go to Nightmare on level 45. No, it's the same thing with the Doom Tower. The Doom Tower, you cannot complete the hard version of the Doom Tower until much later on, when you get better gear, better understanding of the game, and better champions that fit what you're trying to push for, and be able to beat the specific bosses. For the Hydra, it's not even close to be able to do the damage for normal at the moment when you unlock it, okay? On Doom Tower, you unlock it at level 40. I'm now at level what am I? Level 56, and I'm actually Doom Tower level 70 on normal. So I'm actually almost done with the normal version of the Doom Tower. I mean, if I could push the whole thing here and finish the normal version of the Doom Tower, then that means I've done half of it. I mean, the other half is the most difficult part, but comparing it to the Hydra, I should have been able to do at least normal, and then maybe hard would be like jumping from normal difficulty to the hard difficulty of the Doom Tower, and then finishing the whole difficulty of the Doom Tower would be hard, brutal, and of course Nightmare. But we have the Raid Digest here, and they're saying that they're doing some changes to adjust the difficulty, that they're lowering the HP, attack, and defense, from my understanding, for all bosses except for the Nightmare ones. I think it's just in general on all difficulties. They're reducing the HP, attack, and defense. So the HP and attack, that would mean that the heads will not hit so hard, and having a decreased attack debuff on the heads will not be a real requirement, except for maybe the Head of Wrath, which is the one that hits you, and it has that counter. When it goes to 16 counts, then it hits back. All right, that's the idea behind the nerf. The HP and defense, I guess that's okay. It means your heroes will hit overall harder. It means that the Royal Guards and the Husk will still be relevant and will still be needed. And actually, they'll be doing more damage than they did before. I don't think they'll reach the 10% max with every hit that they do, but still, it means that we'll be doing more damage. The countdown of the Mark of the Hydra will be increased from 16 to 20 turns. I like that a lot, because that is actually a problem with many new players who are still trying to figure out the Hydra. That is a source of frustration when they don't really understand what's happening until they understand when the head will eat one of the champions. Then that happens, and it's also very quick eventually when you hit the Hydra for over 100 turns, where the champion gets eaten at 2 turns duration. While the damage required to interrupt digestion and free your champions will be decreased on every difficulty level except Nightmare. That's also good. It means you can use other champions if you don't have something like a Royal Guard or a Husk to actually get them free from the head that's eaten. That being said, those are just the changes that they've said. They didn't really say any other changes in terms of the RNG. Okay, they mentioned some more things, but I'll get to them right now. So what is very frustrating within the Hydra is the RNG involved with the heads. Each head that pops up, or the some very specific skills that they have. I'll give you guys an example of the Head of Mischief, which actually can steal. If you don't have enough resistance, it can steal your buffs. The Head of Mischief, let me see. Yeah, the Head of Mischief has this skill right here. Applies a buff spread effect, taking all buffs from this head and placing them on all the other heads. So this is very annoying when they steal your buffs, when that bad RNG happens. So they didn't address the RNG. The RNG is within the game. That 3% chance to always get, let's say, the buff stolen. It's there, and it won't change, it seems, unless they add a fixed 3%, which will help counter that thing. Anyway, they also say that these changes will come in by next week when the patch comes. So May 25th is going to be next Wednesday when the reset happens. Don't go and do your Hydra day 1. Wait for day 2 to do it, so that you have at least 1 day extra until the patch hits and it becomes easier, right? They also say that there will be a boost in the Hydra chest reward, and it will also go live with this patch. So I'm not sure about this. So what kind of boost are they talking about? If it's just going to be the boost on the current rewards, it won't mean much for many of the players out there. So many of the players out there see the Hydra. Okay, what are the rewards? We get clan shop coins, we get Mithrala, we get some clan XP, and then we get the gear, protection, and stone skin. Those are great sets for end game content if you're ever interested in doing that. Especially the stone skin is used a lot in PvP. But other than that, after you get Mithrala, there's basically zero interest if PvP is not something that you worry about. There's zero interest to do the Hydra anymore. So I would say, I hope they introduce shards within this part. Shards and books. That is still the hardest thing about this game. Since you don't increase the chances for us to get legendaries platinum, at least increase our sources of getting shards and books. The books are still needed for the legendary champions. You introduce epics that need 20 epic books. And 20 epic books, you need a whole month of doing Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare to get them, on average, right? It's very frustrating when they're not clear about these stuff. It seems that they're not taking the steps to move forward with the game, and they only take some steps when they start losing a lot of players, and that's going to happen sooner than later if they don't realize what is up. So the other changes that they introduced to the Hydra, other than the stats that we mentioned, they introduced changes to how some of the heads work. All right, so Head of Mischief, the one that spreads the buffs, the A2 skill, will basically have its cooldown increase from 3 to 4 turns. The chance to steal the buffs, it's still on its A1, and it's from the attacks. Okay, so the chance to spread them is from its A2, the Spoils of Mischief. That's going to be increased to 4 turn cooldown. That's still good, but still it's annoying because of the RNG that I mentioned earlier. Head of Wrath, the defense stat will be decreased for all difficulties in order to make this damage dealer head less tanky. That's good. It means that we want to get this head down quicker if we do attack it with our damaging abilities. That's going to make it easier to bring down. And then the Head of Decay, you'll actually now be able to provoke this. That's a good thing actually, because it's going to mean that if you apply the provokes, it will not be cleansing. I think the difficulty will change a lot in terms of when we have a rotation with the Decay head up. The difficulty will be much less, and I kind of like that. It will still attack the champion with the lowest HP and not the one who plays the provoke on it. I'm fine with that as long as the provoke stops it from doing his cleanse ability, which is the most annoying ability ever in the whole world. The A1 skill, Agonizing Jones, will have priority over provoke. The A1 is just the attack. The A2 and A3 is what is very annoying, which is the cleanse, and the other which applies like the big shield. And that's pretty much it for the Hydra changes. Overall, I think it's a step in the right direction, but it still needs to be addressed a lot. The biggest thing about the Hydra is because of so much RNG is that it takes so much time, and it just drops the interest of people. When a player is out there spending 4 hours every day to just play the game and do the basic stuff, when they know they still have to do the Hydra, even if it's 3 keys per week, they lose interest, and they're gonna lose it fast. And it seems to be that the game has no direction at the moment, which I don't like to see. It's, as a content creator, I want to be making content on a game that's alive, right? I wouldn't have expected ever for Raid to be so dead in terms of content. They need to step up their game, and they need to do it before the summer holidays, because summer is where many people have some extra time. If they're not spending it at least on Raid, they're going to be spending it on another game, and that's going to make them quit. If Raid still wants people to quit and just wants new blood to spend that $50, $100, $200 that they want from each player, so they cover their cost of their advertising and marketing, then I guess Raid will have a finite life. You cannot have everybody out there try and play Raid. Eventually you'll run out of new players, right? That's the idea. And at least in the US market, I think that's where they advertise heavily. They're gonna run out of people from there, and all the other markets, they're not really interested so much in all the other markets compared to the US. I would say from what I've noticed in terms of all the advertising and whatever they're releasing. Anyway, I hope they need to take more steps to the right direction. And Hydra, although one of the steps is still not enough, you cannot have a game with so many champions and PvP and clans and not actually have clan v clan 3 years into the game. More than 3 years, right? They've had the 3rd anniversary. They've been celebrating and pushing packs for the 3rd anniversary for 3 months now. Anyway, this was the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.